Good morning, Flosstube. It's Lisa Smith, Kindred Stitcher. Today is November 10th. It's the day before Veterans Day. If you're a veteran, thank you for your service. Much appreciated, and you should be honored. Let's see what's happened since the last time we met. Well, it's been a few weeks, and my life has been really about volleyball. My niece is a senior, and she's been playing in the state tournament. They finished yesterday. They placed fifth, and just a lot to be proud of. They improved significantly as a team throughout the year. So I've been doing a lot of volleyball. The house is coming along. The front of the roof is mostly done. It's a little tricky. There's a back section that has to be done, and we are eager for that to be finished so that we can have a roofing company put a roof on. I'll insert a picture of where we are here. And if you didn't know, you're new to my channel. My husband and I live in Oregon, kind of in the countryside. We live in a tiny house, and he built a shop that has an interior room in it. And that's where we live, between those two buildings. So basically, think about your life if you lived in two rooms. It takes a lot of compromise and a lot of patience. But like today, my husband is working in the main shop area on a piece of equipment that we use during construction. And I'm like, oh, that's why I can't sew out there. I mean, it's dirty, and he cuts things, so there's wood chips everywhere. And anyway, it's okay. It's okay, right? I keep telling myself it's okay. So that's where we are with the house. And so let's talk about stitching, because that's why you're here, right? This is a channel about cross stitch and about plans and haul. A lot of times there's material for quilting. I love to quilt. I really don't have the space for it right now, but that doesn't stop me from making plans in the future and to think about the quilts that I want to make, because by the time the house is built, the fabric I love today is going to be gone, right? So I'm stashing ahead for retirement. I do have an amazing fully finished piece, and this was, if you may have seen it on Instagram, this was framed by Silverton Art and Frame in Silverton, Oregon. Molly there is the person who worked with me on this, and my sister and my mom were with me. My sister had several pieces framed as well. They do an impeccable job. Amazing work. So if you're looking for a frame shop, they do take mail-in items, and if you're local, swing in. They're open, I want to say 6 days a week. They're open Saturdays, so it's either Tuesday through Saturday or Monday through Saturday. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain by Kathy Barrick. And it's just, this came together, and I was gobsmacked. So I saw the black frame, and my sister was picking out her frames for her pieces, and I just kept looking at that. This has kind of a burnished look around the edge of the black frame here that didn't come across as much, but I love it. I love it. So the intensity of the black really matched the DMC 310 that's stitched in the main piece. There were some other frames that weren't as deep of a black. They were more of a graphite, or they just weren't as strong in color. And then I was looking at this, and when it was my turn to look at frames, then this was kind of sitting close by, and let me just bring it closer to you. It's kind of a wood grain finish, and it has a black interior line, and so you can see there's kind of a concave and convex motion to this frame, and this just tucked in perfectly, and it really makes the oranges pop on this piece. I am so happy with this. This is Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain stitched over one on Thornhaven fabric, hand dyed by Stephanie. And it's an even weave. I stitched it over one. Could not be happier. I love it. All right, so that will get wrapped up and put it in my sister's house. She has all of my finished pieces. I didn't put glass on it. I don't usually put glass on my regular pieces, and it's pretty dirty and dusty here because it's a construction site, so I don't keep most of my framed pieces here. A couple that have glass on them are here, but most of them are at my sister's house. So let me show you a couple of other fall finishes that I do happen to have here. I'm not sure why they didn't get taken to my sister's, but this is Autumn's Fruitful Labor by, I think this is Brenda Gervais. And this is, what an adorable frame this is. I love it with this piece, that sort of silvery graphite, I'm sorry, silvery gray color. Anyway, so I really like it. I have seen this piece framed with a darker brown, and I liked it a lot. So at some point, it's possible that I could reframe this in a darker color. I think it makes the design pop more. I also thought about maybe doing similar to the Autumn on Lazy Rare Mountain and having a second frame on this, but I think it would cover the detail, which is what makes this such a lovely frame. But this could be used on, I'm sure, other stitch pieces if I chose to reframe this in a different frame. So this is Autumn's Fruitful Labor. The other is a Blackbird Designs. This frame I bought at Strawberry Cupboard. Is that right? It's a store, it's a cross-stitch store in Pennsylvania. I was there for work, and this was like $5. So I was like, yeah, I'm buying that. So I bought the frame, and I had it framed. Now it's a little big. It has more margin showing than I usually do. So I'm thinking I may change this at some point and make this a pillow. So this is, I think it's Bittersweet September by Blackbird. It was a club piece, I believe. And then it's been released in one of her autumn books. So you can find this one. It's available for purchase. And I love the kind of scrolliness of this, the softness that's Blackbird, muted, kind of almost romantic and feminine with the way it looks. It was a blast to stitch. So this one is Blackbird Designs Bittersweet Pumpkin, I believe is the name. They had a couple that had a similar name or the same, and then they renamed them. All right, so I have some fully finishes. Let me see if I can manage this because I have a lot of stuff in front of me. I have a couple of FFOs, or a couple of FOs. So you saw my FFOs. But I want to show you what I've been working on because I have been stitching like a banshee. My focus piece for October was my Mirabilia. This is Florentina. She is stitched on 32 count, I think it's called Rustic Rhubarb from Pole Stitches. For the longest time, I couldn't remember or find it. And I think I just went on the Pole Stitches website until I knew the word rhubarb was in the title of it. But it took me a minute to find it. So isn't she gorgeous? I mean, oh my gosh, Nora Corbett is a genius. The last time I showed you, I had stitched to here, and I think to here. I think all of this, that's as far as I was. And I was on a mission. And so I kept stitching her, stitching. And the dress wasn't as much. So, okay, here's the deal. I switched out the cry neck for Petite Treasure Braid. I used two different Petite Treasure Braids. I haven't beaded it yet. And I'm probably not going to bead it until I'm in the house because it is nice to have a counter, your beads out. It's much easier to do. I'm going to call this a finish, but know that I still have to bead this. And the beads, I had done a little beading on it, and they add a lot of sparkle to this piece. But she is so pretty. Her face is just like, she knows things. She's giving you the side eye. And the cat's looking for something. I don't know. Looking to the side. It was a joy to stitch this one. So that is my Mirabilia for this year. I've decided that one of my Mirabilias that I was going to focus on next year, I am going to either give it to a friend, or I might just finish it part way. It's Persephone, and she's so big, but a lot of it, I'm stitching her skin over one. I get tired of doing that. So I'm just trying to think about, what am I really going to do with her? I don't know. I might abandon her. So anyway, the other one I picked up is this one. So this is a blackbird. I am all into blackbirds lately. Blackbird's Autumn Bouquet. I think this one is not available today, but you never know tomorrow. I picked it up and I was stitching it with Carol, Saltbox Stitcher. She got going on it. We were both going to start on the equinox, and I didn't do it. She did. And then my friend Rachel on Instagram, she's Aggie Rachel. I had an extra pattern, and at the Pacific Northwest retreat, I gave her that copy, and she got going on it, and I hadn't started it. And then I started it and I couldn't stop. So this is a start and a finish. This is Autumn Bouquet by Blackbird Designs, and it's so pretty. So much prettier than I thought it was going to be. So this is stitched on 40 count sand dune, and it's all the call for colors, which are cinnamon, sarsaparilla, spring, thyme. Is it just thyme? I'm not sure. Thyme and mulberry. The alphabet is done in Smyrnas. I'm going to come a little closer. So you can see it's done in Smyrnas. And I did bring in a brown for the acorn caps to give it just a little more pop, because it wasn't really defined enough. So it was like I don't even know what it was. I think it was a limited edition color from Gentle Arts. So, but it's so pretty. It's so fallish. And I just think I'm going to get a nice big chunky frame to frame this on. Has great texture, super fun, unexpected. I wanted to do it. I just didn't know I was going to like stitching it so much. So I'm going to pause real quick and kind of clean off some stuff. Oh, I do have a whip to show you. But I'm going to clean off my stuff here and restack the pile. I'll be right back. Okay. It's always a bit of a tussle between clips here to get things reorganized. So, isn't it great though that there's so many things that I love sharing with you guys, and you tell me in the comments how much you love it. So I'm showing you all the things. I'm not holding back at all. The whip that I worked on, and I just really started working on it again last night, is Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. And I've seen so many people work on this. This is a 12-parter, and I call the couple on here Mildred and Malcolm, because they just look like they are. They're very dour looking. This has been such a joy to stitch. I'm stitching it on 46 count parchment by Weeks, and I have decided I love stitching on Weeks parchment. This is Weigart based. So I'm on this last row. This is my focus piece for November. So here we're halfway through almost. Oh my gosh. So I'm working on this block first, which is the one with the it has like a berry bowl with a pineapple on it. And then there's another one in the middle that's almost a full coverage. That is a manor. And then the last one is sort of, I heard the bells on Christmas Day, and it has some peacocks. So this is NPIs. So the shine is gorgeous on it. My kids bought the NPIs for me for my Christmas present last year, which was, it was so lovely of them. What I love about it is that it's not a variegated thread, so you can just go over and back, over and back. You don't have to stitch one stitch at a time. So that's my whip that I worked on last night after a little bit of, after I'd gotten back from volleyball. So, all right, let me talk a little bit about some some haul and some plans, and I have a giveaway winner here too. Where is my piece of paper with that? Oh, here we go. Ah, found it. There were 2 giveaways last time. The first one was a Lizzie Kate. This is one that I decided not to continue stitching, and it's called Things Unseen. It comes with the trim, all the good stuff, including the buttons. And it was on Heartland, called for. I started it. I'm just sending it. You can do what you want with it. The winner of this Lizzie Kate is Kathy Gutzman, Gutzman 9742. That's your YouTube handle name. So Kathy, reach out to me in the email address that I'm going to put in the Dropbox below. The other one is Prairie Schooler Flowers. Many of you said that you have been on the hunt for this one and can't find it. I would recommend emailing Hoffman. You can go to the Hoffman website. It's called, I think it's called Hoffmandis, HOFFMANDIS, so for distributing.com. Just email them and say, I'm interested. Are you thinking about releasing this one? So I had stitched 1. I was going to stitch 3. I decided not to. I'm just going to leave it at the 1. The giveaway for this one is, the winner is Elizabeth Coleman 5437. So congratulations to the winners. Please email me at the email box below. Okay, so every once in a while I do a little midnight shopping. I don't know about y'all, but everybody's in bed, or I'm just laying in bed looking at my phone, and I do look at auction sites occasionally, and I found one. I found a sampler, and I did show this on Instagram. It's hard to see because these colors are so soft. This is one of the prettiest samplers that I have, and it's called, the stitcher's name is Anna Rigi, R-I-G-I. I think I had thought the whole last name was Rigigliano, but it's not. It's R-I-G-I, and then the other is the date. L-A-N-N-O is 1842. This is stitched, it looks like, in silk. They are very tiny stitches, and it's a big sampler. There are a lot of motifs. The border is a collection of motifs, so it's not the same all the way around, which is so inspiring. The lettering, there's a saying that says it looks like sentenza oppressa, which I've translated it. I don't know if this is Italian or what, but it came up as the oppressed thirst, which there could be some religious, I'm trying to see if there's any religious motifs. There's not really as many as you might think, but there are a zillion birds, urns, flowers, bouquets, wreaths. It's got the color palette is mostly greens, blues, golds, very soft color palette. And there's some eyelets on here. Her stitching is impeccable. I had the auction house take it out of the frame because the frame didn't look like it was great quality, and it helped save. Shipping costs are crazy. I mean, like shocking. That what I bought this one and showed you this one last time, but this is a really tall one. It was very expensive to ship it. So this one I thought, well, I can store it easier if you just take it out of the frame. The frame didn't look too precious. When they did that, the piece is hem stitched. And they had nailed it in, I think, in one spot, and it was actually, there's a bit of glue around the edge. So that's unfortunate. I'll have to conserve it, I think. This is Anna Rigi. I mean, you guys, she is so pretty. I can't even tell you how pretty she is. I'm going to go across the top here. But you see how I say that the border is a collection of motifs? Any one of these would make a great band sampler. And then you've got these like pockets, which I love. And then this big bouquet, and then a whole row of wreaths, and lots of little animals and bouquets and birds. I'm going to come over to this side to show you this side. And as you go up, her lettering is all eyelets. Her name is so beautiful. There's a fountain with birds down here. Motifs along the bottom. This is, I don't know what this stands for. The M, it looks like a monogram, M-A maybe, but it is all eyelets. I mean, so on the auction site, the picture quality was terrible. You really couldn't see, and you zoom, it was too dark. And then this is, of course, very light. So I didn't have to pay very much for it. I could not believe it. I was so, I jumped up and down out of my chair. Look at that bouquet at the bottom. Got this striped urn or pot on it. It's so pretty. Someday I'll retire, and I think this will lend itself. I'm not sure if this will be a full reproduction. It's so big. I'm not sure how big it'll be. It's going to be big, but it could be a collection of motifs put together. It could be a whole variety. Look at that lion. It's amazing. Look at the L. I don't know if you can see this on here. The L on the lettering on the, oh gosh, very kind of, oh. Anyway, so I'm super happy to have this. Can't wait to have a house so I can hang up my stuff. Anyway, so that was exciting, super exciting. Thank you for everyone who shares in the joy of collecting that stuff and you know, encourages me. So I really appreciate you. All right, I'm going to take another quick break, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have some haul and some plans to talk a little bit about. And I just want to say thank you to Helen D, who had a mention in her last video for me, and I appreciate that. She, amongst many of you, bought the Real Comfort pattern from Paulette at Plum Street and have started it. My friend Lori, textilist, she got going. I think that was her birthday start. It was a joy to stitch that, and I need to send that out for framing, but I need to we're going into the holiday season, so I'm probably going to chill on that a little bit. Framing can be really expensive. So a few things. My friend, oops, sorry about that. My friend Pam Horner is undergoing chemo right now for treatment, and she is stitching. In her chemo stitch is Jenny Bean for the Parlor. I have a couple of these, and my friend Vanessa lent me the rest of them, which is great. She's already stitched it. So I think I'm gonna start this. I think I'm gonna start it New Year's Day. So Pam, I'm with you in spirit. I'm trying to reach my goal, my WIP goal, at the end of the year, and it's going to be tight. So in 2021, I counted up my WIPs, and I did a 3-part WIP parade, and I had 79 WIPs. So the people that have 200, my hat's off to you. A lot of what I stitch is really big. So like my Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow, I count that as one WIP. Some people count it as a start and a finish every time you do it. I just count, no matter how big it is, I just count it as one. And I have this year stitched a lot of big pieces, a lot of big finishes pushed through. So I actually, on my spreadsheet, I have them allocated to every year. So I know what my focus pieces are going to be next year and the year after. So I'm already planned out that far. That doesn't mean I'm not going to start new things, because clearly I am. I'm definitely going to start them. And to stitch the Jenny Bean on, I ordered 40 count light drab from Kitten Stitcher. Oh, by the way, the advent calendar. Oh my gosh. You guys, if you haven't signed up for it, they're going like hotcakes. I would be surprised if it isn't sold out already. But she has I bought it a couple years ago and it did not disappoint, let me tell you. And she's doing it again, and she has some pretty significant contributors. Like Blackbird's going to have a chart in there. So that sold me. Paulette, I think, might be in there. I don't know if Paulette's, I'm not sure. I'd have to take a look at the email she sent. Anyway, so what I love about Teresa is that she has a lot of fabric. And if you need a skinny half, right? So this is not a fat half. This is a skinny half, because the Jenny Bean for the Parlor series is a long piece. You can order a skinny half from her. And so I knew I wanted to do this on light drab. It's long, right? It's so long. So instead of cutting it this way and making it more of a rectangle, but that's proportionate, this is more of a longer piece. So they just cut it a yard and then cut it lengthwise in half. And it's a beautiful fabric. It's XJU Designs Light Drab. Light Hazelnut. Sorry, I do have a piece of her light drab, which is another fantastic color. So there's that. That's my plans in the future. Also, I have been tempted by the Christmas spirit. There's so many people that are putting on Instagram and Flosstube their decorated houses already, like so tattered. It's so funny. She cracks me up. She's got her small Christmas tree and she puts it in a punch bowl. It's amazing. And then this year, the punch bowl had all of the punch cups. Well, you know, along the outside, she put candy in it. I'm like, that's genius. And so I'm really enjoying that, because probably I'm not going to decorate again this year. I didn't decorate last year. There's just not much space. Whatever I decorate with is really a couple things that I might buy at the store. And it's okay. It just makes it easier, because otherwise I have to try to drag it out of the pile of stuff that's being stored. And I'm not going to do that. It's too much stress. So I have been tempted, and I have pulled out a couple of things that I might still start this year. Glad Tidings by Lindy Stitches. I bought the thread pack, and so this comes with some dinky dyes, some gentle arts, and then I pulled just my DMCs on bobbins. And yes, I still bobbinate my DMCs. It's a double-sided, I have it in a double-sided container. They all fit in there. I can slide it between my chair and the little table that's between my husband and my chairs here in this one room. It's so easy and convenient for me that I don't know that I'll ever put them on floss straps. They're beautiful to look at, but I have no problems with them on bobbins. And so I have kept them on bobbins. Anyway, so I have had this kitted up for quite a while, and I picked this fabric, Arctic, Pictures Plus Arctic. And this will look beautiful on here. I bought this at Stitchville 100 years ago. Stitchville's not even around anymore, but you can get Pictures Plus Arctic. I think it'll be a great color match for this. Okay, so that's, I may start that Christmas Day. I might start that, I don't know. I told you I had 79 whips. Now I'm down to 29. 29. Now I did abandon 2, right? Persephone and then that Things Unseen. My goal was to be in the 20s by the end of the year. I don't know that I'll have another finish. I am going to start and finish, I'm sure, this one. I showed you this in the last video. So this is Winter. It's part of that 3-part series, this here. And I'm just going to take the mirroring border and bring it over to here. And I'm going to stitch it as a Christmas piece, because to me this looks very Christmassy. And I'm going to start this on my birthday, which is December 3rd. And several of you have said you're going to hop on and do it too. So if you want to start this with me, I'm going to start it. I'm going to stitch it on, I'm not sure. This is 40 count vintage. Lakeside, what is this? Oh, vintage peanut butter. I might put it on this. Pecan butter, peanut butter. I might put it on this. I probably will put it on that. It would be a great match for it. And if you want to stitch this, is the hashtag we're going to use is hashtag BBD Winter Sal. So please stitch with me. I really enjoy it when people, and we need enough people to have a hashtag. Anymore, you can't have a hashtag unless you have enough posts. Well, you can have it, it just won't show up. And here's the beautiful colors. So there you go. If you hear noise, my cats are clod hopping around out in the shop. The other one I'm going to start is, and I think I might also do this one on that piece of pecan butter, is Fragments in Time. Oops. The winter one I'm starting on Thanksgiving. I completely said it was my birthday. It's not. I'm starting it on Thanksgiving. This one I'm starting on my birthday, which is Fragments in Time. And she puts these out every year. She puts a series out and she releases them through the year. And she also gives you a free border. If you go to her website, look at that swan. Isn't that pretty? And a deer and that. Okay, so if you go to her website, you can download the free border. These are the colors, but I don't know if this is all of them. I might change a couple of these. I have not yet decided. I think I'm missing a couple of them. And if you want to stitch that one with me, that hashtag is FITSAL 2024. FIT is Fragments in Time. SAL is Stitch Along 2024. Okay, so that's the one we'll start December 3rd if you want to stitch with me. And then, so the things that I'm potentially going to start and work on are small. Here's another one. This one came in the Advent box a couple years ago, and I think Contented Needleworker Kim stitched this because it's pink and she loves pink. I love pink too. I don't have fabric picked out for this, but I do have some threads, and I might start this one. Isn't that pretty? I think this is available now for purchase too from Heartstring Samplery. So in my craft room in my new house, I want to put a flocked tree. A flocked Christmas tree, and it's going to be a fake one. And I have been collecting shiny bright ornaments. So I follow a gal on Instagram, a couple of places where they have a flocked tree with shiny brights and vintage ornaments. And it's jaw dropping. And it really, this color palette, these types of stitch pieces go with that color palette. So I'm really thinking about what I could hang in my craft room. Isn't that ridiculous? I'm thinking ahead already to that. I don't even have a house yet. But those are the types of things that I'm thinking about starting. Okay, what else do we have here on the list? I signed up for the Jingle Ball. It was, everything crashed and what have you. That's fine. So I signed up and I did one kit. I did the Stacy Nash one. I didn't buy the kit. I bought the PDF, but Tanya from Blackbird Primitives had the linen and wool that you could put on the inside of your piece when it's constructed. So this is not stitching linen. This is like an antique linen that you might wool applique. It's probably not an even linen either. But it's like a finishing kit piece. So to me, this was a lot less expensive. And it was worth it. I've got tons of fabric. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to the Jingle Ball. I've gone to every one. I love them. I don't go for a long period of time, but I go for long enough. And I really enjoy it. It's busy that time of year. What else? So I picked this one up off the eBay. I don't think I showed this to you. Let me slip this out of the sleeve. I have a lot of the Blackbirds. I would say the vast majority. This is an early one. It's called Tulip Manor. It's so cute. Look at that fabric. Oh, that might be something I stitch in the spring. And there's a store I follow. I think it's on Instagram. It's called Pincushion Pentiles. It's in the UK, and I just love their stuff. So there's another one in the Netherlands called Stitchers Inn, INN, and I just needed a trip to Europe to go to the places I want to go, to see the things I want to see. I bought from them, this is the Saint NEOT band sampler. This is a quilt. And so I look at this and I have lots of laundry basket quilt fabric that would work well. Look at that applique sampler at the top, applique band at the top. Sorry, this is very shiny with the flowers. So pretty. So I bought that from them. I picked up this kit. This is the Sadie's Housewife. And here are the luscious fabrics that go into that. I'm dying. I saw that. I was like, yes, please. And then the last one. I just think this is adorable. This is Figgy Pudding Christmas Stocking by Susan Smith Design. I'm going to come up kind of close on this. And some of it is appliqued and some of it is embroidered. So like the Merry Christmas part is embroidered. There's a little person here with a flag that says, oh, the person's name, Susan Smith, Susan on it. I'm dying. This is so stinking adorable. So I bought that. I don't usually buy internationally because it takes a while to get here and it can be expensive, but it's not always. All right. So I'm stuck between fall and Christmas. I'm going to finish a couple fall things. I saw this at a quilt store. I always love plaids. This is a plaid on point. I bought a couple yards of it because I thought this is just, nothing says fall like plaid to me. And it's a cotton. It's a nice quality. I think this is Northcott fabric. And the line is called Sunshine Harvest. So it's a beautiful fall piece. And then I was at a local, what would you call it, like upcycled craft mall antique store, which I have really loved. I usually find something there. And this made me think maybe sometime in the future I could see myself out in the shop with a laser cutter. This says fall, but look at the rusty colors on this. This would be great, like, you know, on a mantle, on a over a doorway. But I think I could do that. It's corrugated metal, but they've done some great like techniques to rust this up. And it is rusty, like it's getting a little bit on that ribbon, that grow grain. Yeah. Anyway, so that was fun. And I just, it makes me want to paint. It makes me want to get back to painting, but all that stuff's put away. It's put away. I'm almost done here, you guys. I know. I love looking at this stuff too. I think this was at Hobby Lobby. I used some coupon on this. It's glittery and it's so darn cute. If I had some wool applique, or this would be just adorable anywhere, honestly. You could put this in scrapbooking. Oh, I loved that. Red transferware. This is Strawberry Fair. I bought this. This has a bowl, like a saucer that it sits on. It broke in transit, which was such a bummer. The guy gave me a refund, but oh, I love the Strawberry Fair. And then I also bought this one. You guys, and you know, who was it? The Cottage Gardens, Cottage, they're up in the Olympia area. Anyway, there's a Flosstube channel I have watched, and they had started collecting it. It made me want it, so I started collecting it some. I bought some. This is the Laundry Basket Quilts line. That's her Joy Christmas line, and there was an end of a bolt. Like I got it on a good deal. But it's this striped, diagonal stripe. It's kind of a candy cane looking fabric, if you will. I thought, well, I can't go wrong with that. I also, at the same store that I picked up the plaid fabric, I bought this book. So this is Victory. And her stuff, I just always love it. Christmas Figs, Block of the Month Sampler, and 10 Quilting Projects. This is, I don't think this is a new book. I think this has been out for a while. Let me see if I can find a copyright date on it. But it's transferable to like any, oh yeah, 2018. Any of her lines of fabric would work with this. So there's that. And then I think Christy from Crosshatch Quilts, by the way, it was lovely to see Christy and Lori Holt, both of them with videos out. Strawberry Garden, this is gorgeous. And all of the quilts in the back, I would see myself maybe doing this in the future. The last thing I bought. So when I was at the store where I bought that corrugated banner, I saw this and I thought, I know exactly what I want to do with this. So this is, it's not a printer's drawer. It's like a cubby kind of. And there's a book that many of you have seen by, it's a French designer, Veronique Engin-J, and it's called The Magic of Christmas. She has smalls. There's like children, animals. It's all Christmas related. And I'm going to stitch smalls and put them in here, much like the Blackbird design pattern. They have one that's smaller that you get this from Hobby Lobby, and you put like little Halloween designs in it. I can't remember the name of the book. Anyway, so I'm going to put that in here, but I also think I'll put like bottle brush trees, maybe some trims on here, maybe some glitter, some jingle bells, and I'm going to zhuzh it up. So it's going to be so much fun to stitch and put together in the future. And then this, maybe this will go in my craft room too, but this is going to be just very pretty is what I'm going for. The pretty factor. That's it. Let's see. Today is, I don't know if I'll have another video in 2 weeks. I don't know. It depends. There's a lot going on. It gets busy at Thanksgiving. I've got Thanksgiving week off, but I'm going to have a good time. I just told myself I'm not going to make big commitments. I'm going to my sister's. All my family will go there, and I don't have to cook, at least nothing big. And yep, so we're going to take it easy, and I am happy that you all stopped by. Thank you for supporting me. Very appreciated, and I will see you again when I see you.